Actually, yesterday came out looking fantastic from a series loss, Lauren.
Yeah, and DRX want to drag them out of this dream and twist their reality back to our expectations. But Zeta, you're going to have to go against the odds. I think that is a very simple factor in this, and DRX still so consistent. Arguably one of the best games we've seen so far up against Optic, putting up a huge performance, looking solid. There obviously wasn't quite enough, hence why we are here. But already, look at this absolute crunch of proactive play from Zeta.
And this is great. In terms of the prep, in terms of that first series we were talking about, we saw DRX bust out this B-site execute with the deep wall, and again, Stacks being the one to push forward. It's exactly the same once again. It will get the plant down. No real trade-off of damage just yet.
And I love this kind of, well, not necessarily counterintuitive, but hyper-creative a way to just take away CT, which forces this retake to be so difficult that it just buys so much time. So Zeta have to focus on working back through middle, which is actually what they've done quite well at so far, taking down RB. Stacks going to be put to work, but they've lost out all the players on the site, and Zeta identify the way forward, slicing through middle, and now Zest and Marco, tricky position, because how do they deny the defuse? I guess that's going to help out. Marco's trying to buy a bit of time, allows Zest for the swing, and then they deliver the goods. Two back-to-back, putting 10 now on the back foot. And suddenly these two players doing everything they can, but the wall has to break, and he has to get the frag! The time! He ain't got much left of it, and Zest holds on to this.
It's actually crazy they get away with that once again after initially it looks like Zeta have the answer. They have the response to that. Initially we see so much pressure come through mid, and basically that's to attack the backline, attack some of this post-plant comfort that DRX have with this execution, and everything goes right for them. I'll be honest, it's fumbled on site here. I mean, Ten's put in an awful situation here, but Zest there to close it out. DRX will find the pistol round. This is what I've got my eye on, though. Zeta's ability to really get into the backlines.
It's super hard to disrupt, of course. We know that. We've seen so many teams try and fail, but correct read coming out. 10 does get noted. And DRX don't look to be changing, but this is a full-on 5-stack over towards A for the defending side here. Going to post up numbers and hope for the best. Now noting a great deal, I'm sure. Maybe a second guess could come in, but no, they carry on forward. Lad's still going to connect, but it's a 3-for-1 trade out. And DRX look unfazed, unfussed, and not losing numbers here. Comfortable work until it gets a little sloppy, but Sugar Zero low HP, and gets found by Marco. So 3 alive, 2 of the Bulldogs remain. Everything good for DRX.
Well handled there. See no real threat coming through. He's playing trades effectively. On the way to site. A good read again from Zeta just to stack up here and try and make it as difficult as possible. So DRX going to come back into this. 2 Bulldogs, 2 Spectres. Stacks actually going to get a bit of a swap out here for the Sheriff to get across to Zest. So we're going to be sitting pretty comfortable. Coming through to this about Zeta. Actually 2 light shields here, no real gaps in utility. We'll be bringing rifles into this one.
A pacey beginning to take that early control over towards A, but you can see the reply in kind from Zeta is this kind of walk mid. Was propped up initially by Laz joining as well. He's managed to make his way back. Just going to roll over towards that A site. Again, let's see what that composure looks like. You don't want to lose players kind of on that halfway mark. If they're going to fight to try and keep site control, or if they dip for the full retake. As it stands, they're kind of somewhere in between. I want to see what Laz does with this. Sugar Zero. This Buzz going to try and take a little bit more space here. Does get warded away, kept away. Utility still working well enough. Wall goes up, and plant goes in.
Oh, but he's going to be very low. Actually, the spike isn't down.
Yeah, I thought that was good. After that initial spam, didn't find it, but not to be at all. Spike now left in a precarious position. Sugar Zero and Laz going to try and keep a bit of a close eye on this one. You can see DRX desperate to fight for him. Marco's done well to find Laz. Recovers the spike and tries to get out of danger. Need to hit the brakes for a bit, stabilize this round because it was about to spiral. He's going hunting.
Yeah, I was going to say, whether or not Zeta are going to push on the back of this. Zero.
You don't expect this. This is super bold play. Yeah, pushing up against kind of like a half buy, that almost kind of encourages them to fight right back. They do a bit of damage, maybe 1 more than Zeta would have liked, but speaking of 1, it's 1 on the board for them.
Well handled there initially, and I mean, this has got to be something Zeta try and replicate here. It is preventing the spike from going down, because I mean, I was talking about this the other day. DRX have some outrageous post-plant percentage in terms of success, and Icebox being one of the ones that feels the most comfortable in that. And we've seen this execution once before as well with the flash from Stacks and Buzz looking to dash over towards backside. This time a little bit of a fumble on the way in, actually. I'm not sure if he just miscalculation on the dash, but wasn't able to really get in behind sight there. which I think is the reason they're able to punish the wall so quickly. Usually Buzz would be either up top there or playing behind that new box.
You don't often get given opportunities like that by DRX, so you'll take them when you get them. As it stands, though, still seeing this defensive side try and take a little bit of territory, and I think that's something that should be high on the priority list, be it that little bit of a walk down middle, the capability to re-aggress towards A just in between that timing. I do like them staying proactive here, Zeta. For now, you can see the plan.
Well, this is it. They want to prevent that B site execute here, so they've got a Judge posted up deep here with 10. Two other teammates here. It's Laz and Depp, but DRX don't like something.
They felt something.
Yeah. And this could be wide open here. I mean, it's going to be Sugar Zero called upon here for Zeta. This should feel like just an attempt, or at least they're going to concede site here and attempt to just approach the retake.
Not going to be particularly easy, though. That's huge. That's huge.
Beautiful from Crow.
In combination. Coming in with Sugar Zero just to melt down on the spike, and another attempt of it. Stacks did take a little bit of chip damage, but he's not the first target. That is, Crow gets past the first, he gets the second. And he can't rain all the time, but he's raining in the bullets and the frags. Buzz tries to make a swing, it can't work. Is Marco left in a 1v4. What do you do with this? Nothing. Crow, what a round.
It's beautiful. The awareness for knowing that DRX want to get these geeky plants and sit very deep in the post plant, punishes the first with the snake bite and shock dart combo. It's fantastic work from Sugar Zero and Crow. Again, the freebie, it's a free kill as well. Gives them the numbers advantage. They've already sat back deep in anticipation of just that. But Crow with, I mean, what was the second swing? Look at the angle as well. We catch it perfectly.
This is so nice.
The confidence to come through and then swing the second as well.
So hyper-aware.
Exactly. He knows the Stacks has to get away from that.
It's so nice seeing players just having that kind of like mental step ladder of like, I swing this, I get him, then I've got that option for those couple of seconds, and then I can adjust. Now, I did actually want to say, let's hit the brakes and kind of roll back to what we saw in the first game to what we're seeing now. There's still, like, to me, I know it's only 2-2, right? And, you know, the hopium's starting to really hit. But this looks like a better Zeta to me. Already.
I mean, yeah, across 4 rounds, it looks better.
Yep.
But I think that really does give credit to just how dominant DRX were in that first series on Icebox, right? There was almost, I mean, they caught them off surprise a number of times. That B-side execute I was talking about, and also just their ability to slow the game down. I mean, DRX is kind of synonymous with, we were talking about the strength in default yesterday, and the series versus Optic was shocking in some regards because they lost out on opening engagement in that series across it, which is literally the cornerstone of their game plan. It's the cornerstone of their success as well in being able to create a 5v4 advantage. But yesterday, I mean, across the whole series, it was literally only Zest and Marco that came out positive. Everybody else was negative in terms of opening engagements for DRX.
For the scoreline to still be that close.
Exactly. So DRX are actually relying on almost kind of flipping unfavorable scenarios to keep the series as close as it was, which isn't their comfort zone. They're all about control. They're all about just kind of chipping away at these setups and then finding that point of exploit, really.
So we come back in after the timeout now. I doubt as much for this round. We'll be looking at them identifying any of the problems. And a bit of a trade-out. Depp's not backing yet. Now he has fallen away slightly, but the heal's going to come out. That was very close. And Depp barely breathing, but still standing. And look at the amount of pressure here. Zeta, careful now. You can see them trying to test this. And Zeta are happy to fight back. They're not relinquishing control yet.
Just coming back to that opening engagement discussion, Depp on the Jet is obviously another conversation topic to come back to. Some shaky performances, but keep our eye on that as again, DRX going to try and find the way onto A site with Sugar Zero and Crow here, whether or not they're going to have the same sort of plan here with the utility. Shock dart going to come through at least.
Look at it, look at this!
Beautiful!
This duo! The danger duo just dominating the site. That's perfect play, I love this. And they dip away for a second, and by now the rotations have come in, and Crow giving us a rinse and repeat. He wants this round again. This is his highlight reel, welcome to it. Kick back and enjoy. But already a little bit of damage got done, and Stack still stands, but surely that's about it. Yeah, Crows have none of it. And that combo between him and Sugar Zero is beautiful to watch.
I mean, it's one of the biggest adjustments I want to see from Zeta is preventing the spike from going down. So all of these are positives in my eyes. Just having these little setups here, and the timing is perfect. There's no chance to even get off the plant here and reset. And then Crow through. He comes through again. Just look how confident he is for these clearances. They Again, only a limited number of rounds, but I'm already so impressed from Zeta's adjustment here.
They seem so well prepared as well. Genuinely, really nicely prepared. Even just off the back of that pistol round, I felt as though they'd identified a couple of things that worked very nicely for DRX. They've learned from the lessons that they were given.
The scary thing now, actually, Crow's got the Hunter's Fury here, so another chance to deny the plant. Actually, Snack's going to pop his ult, so...
And I like they're putting so much focus on trying to keep this plant under contest, to try and be a problem on this. But now with the suppression coming in, though, Crow does at least get locked down in that regard. He can't deny it this time. So facilitating the plant, they do need to now leave the site. They're going to pump the ult on the way out just to add a little more security to this.
See how Zeta approach this. Actually, the counter Viper bit comes through.
Well, welcome to the green screen. Not going to see a great deal here. Yeah, thank you, observers. I appreciate you. Have fun. Can't wait to see you catch all these kills. Ted's going to find Buzz, but this is going to be just monstrous to keep up with. You just got to keep your eye on the time here. Keep in mind that there's not much of it left. And you can see Def trying to go exploring here, trying to address the back lines a little bit. Does find Stacks. That's not bad. Oh, B still close by, though. Takes the damage. He's fine. He's still sitting pretty, and they've defended the spike well enough here. And as much as they tried to thread through, it doesn't really matter. Def can't make the big impact that he'd like to. And the round gets converted, but look at the investment of what came out.
I mean, important as well that RB falls here. Have to see what the knock-on effect here is for the economy. Again, it's going to force everything out in terms of the funds available. But big investment, as you said. Stacks and Marco. And these aren't rounds that they can just repeat now. They have to wait for this ultimate cycle to rebuild if they want to replicate this.
I think for me is, okay, so that got them, into the post plant, which is one of their most... I guess one of the strongest suits, right, is they look some of the best when those post plants are comfortable, but you look at the amount invested to get there. As you said, they cannot repeat that now time and time again. They'll have to wait for those to cycle back through, of course. So what's the plan now for every other round?
Well, I mean, the response is DRX actually need to secure this first blood. They can't just allow Zeta to sit back because they're looking so comfortable right now. They have these couple of these utility dumps onto site. Actually, this time, a big adjustment here. Previously, we've seen 3 members of Zeta over towards B main, just so paranoid of that one hit coming through once again. Yeah. But this time around, we've got 3 over towards A, because they haven't really felt a lot of heat. No real pressure towards B main.
But they're exploring, and I love this. Yeah. Seeing Laz push even a little deeper on this, and at the right timing, too. He obviously doesn't know that, but it's the perfect time to start clearing, because this can be a cool and a quick rotation, hopefully, and support towards that B site. Because I feel as though you really don't want to be playing in those retakes initially. You want to try and find that perfect balance, but the timing is great here. They've just tried to explore deeper depth. Gets caught. Marco, great intuition just to check those back lines, not allow that to be exploited. Would they expect the next 2? Probably not, but it will at least be something they have to keep in mind now.
Well, Hunter's Fury on the flank as well. Look where Crow's going to set up here on the minimap.
Speaking of it, there it is. Popped and gone to get the tags it needs. For now, not a great deal out of it. Spike's going to go down. They can't deny it. Spike's planted. RB still stands, barely breathing, but he's still walking. Going to get away, try and hold a little bit of the safety here, and the slight lean towards middle, maybe for the retake, as 3 of them look towards the side. Wall goes up. They want to get a tap on that quick. Throughout the spam and lean forward. 10 wants to be the one to do this. Pulls out Hunter's Fury on the other side. I think Sugar Zero might have copped a bit of a chip damage off that. 10, though, goes for it. Gets 1, but it's traded, and no quick answer back either. Crow on the flank, though. That could be 1. Sprays in. Couldn't get the second. Laz, where are you in this? Gets the rifle because he was suppressed. And now think of the time. It's time to dwindle. Laz, he's holding them back. They can't deny it. There's time on this. The defuse, it comes in.
What a retake there from Zeta. Just insane. And again, there's so much for them to deal with. Slight adjustment here with the wall actually cutting off. I think maybe this is to kind of plant the seed of doubt in Zeta's head, but wow. Again, Crow doesn't even do much damage, but it's all information off the Hunter's Fury, right?
Sure.
The confirmation, no hits
right.
is vital information for Zeta on the way back through. Wow. And this gets worrying now, because this B-side execute, where the plant location is, I mean, it's not guaranteed that Zeta have a setup like they do on A-side, right, to deny this plant. You can see them frantically spamming into the wall, but because it's a little bit obscure and it's kind of tailor-made by DRX, there's not an awful lot Zeta can do. They have to respect the plant. But this is a big win. To be able to win out on a retake on B-side.
Exactly. Like, that's, I think you could almost hear it in the comms, right? In that kind of like post-round, you're like, hey guys, we've done it. All right, that's a huge step. Because...
He should get spotted here, actually,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
both of them.
two. That's huge information. Sugar Zero closing it on the kill. The guy's prowling. Marco, the audacity to still turn and check. But he still goes down. But bear in mind what they're coming in with is not a great deal, so this should be dealt with.
It's like a little bait poison orb there. Mid, he's just got the angle on the other side of it. Beautiful stuff.
It's very impressive to watch it from Zeta. This is looking like the real deal. Putting on the damage. Depth. Nice work.
Here.
Just trying to look for that final kill, but we have to talk bigger picture here. This is because the reason I started this day off talking about, you know, the dream of what Zeta were doing and how DRX really are the kind of ones to bring them back and give them that reality check is because the first time we saw this sort of matchup, and we've seen DRX against Optic, we've had every indicator that they are as solid as ever, comfortable, and Zeta, how far can that dream run go? And we're seeing a little bit more of this here, way more than I expected.
Well, I'll be honest, one of my biggest concerns now has almost been righted so early on in this because Optic came out on top on Icebox because of the depth that they were able to display. A lot of that comes down to, credit has to be given to FNS. We were singing his praises yesterday, but that would have been one of my biggest concerns for a team like Zeta, is the depth of strategy. And so far, like I said, I've already seen all the adjustments I wanted to hit, particularly on the defensive side, because that's where you have to respect DRX the most.
You absolutely do. And DRX now, I think it's a second timeout being called. I think that they've identified that they're actually in a bit of trouble, because let's kind of boil this scoreline back to, you know, what it really is, talk about how the rounds have come down. Takeaway 2 from this, because they won the pistol, right? So once we got into the rifle rounds and going forward, this is essentially, what, 5-1 so far for Zeta? So this is a problem the DRX do want to work out because, as we highlighted, their strength does come in those post plants, but we've already seen the amount of attention to detail put into denying that, and they've also proven on that B side that they can pull off these retakes.
And I'm just now actually realizing Depp died right with the Blade Storm. So that was actually a 4v5 retake that Zeta were able to pull off, which, again, we talk about stats, we talk about, you know, probabilities. That is so unlikely they actually come back through there. So DRX have got to be feeling the heat a little bit now. I'm almost expecting the trademark mid hit here towards B site, and we'll see obviously if there's going to be any adjustment there, Zeta, in anticipation, but we've got to see a different look from DRX here. We have to see an adjustment. I don't think playing slow is actually suiting them here, because Zeta, in terms of damage control, in terms of damage limitation, they're winning out in the early round.
Oh, they absolutely are. Big information found at the start, though, too, revealed. Does DRX continue with his plan? I'm looking at that mid-piece building. We saw a glimpse of it before, but they got noted by Sugar Zero. Now, it looks like they're going to try that once again. Maybe it was just a little bit of a probing mission initially to try and see what they can get. Now they're going to do it with rifles. 10 on the other side has to be on the money. A1 and Vicious. 3 on the other side of this, and Jet just gets beheaded. Pro's there, but the angle's not pretty for him to work with, so tries to slip away, but the mid-pressure's good, and they've isolated that player on B. They could back away from this and go for that B hit, which would be the safer play, which it looks like they're doing. But look at the quick backfill on space here, too. They're getting proactive, trying to bail out Sugar Zip.
Did you not see him?
He's lucky to get one. He's lucky to get one out of that. Still finds Buzz, but yeah, this round looks done. They have absolutely sliced them through the middle. This is going to be very tricky to work back in from.
Again, back to bases for DRX. Look at the plant location here as well. So, with 2 members up towards Kitchen, this could be huge, but Lats is here so early.
It's a freebie! And the double stack towards Kitchen. Deps found RB. This is unreal. Okay, Zest and Stacks, though. Come on, these are the classics, right? Would they have expected the double stack? No. So Stacks gets to keep his life for now. And Crow and Depp, no subtlety to this. Here's the drop on 1. And Depp going to close in. Gets beheaded. Gets executed. Dips away slightly. 2 towards the site now. And you're going to see these hard positions to clear. Oh, the white swing! This is a 1v1. He's sitting this. Laz is absolutely sitting this, and Stacks is going anti-flash. It's all about time. And who gets that first?
He would have had it as well. There wasn't an awful lot left on that, Lauren.
No, there was not.
By the skin of their teeth. And again, the sorts of things I'm talking about early on here, Sugar Zero is literally in the one position to challenge that DRX mid-split, the one where they go for this plant in top site. And he's punished immediately. Yeah, big sigh of relief, yeah. Again, the flash is crucial there, just to mask the footstep. I mean, obviously, you've got to anticipate that you're being pushed there, but...
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, can they... I want to see what they do to deal with middle now. Maybe just putting Laz a little bit more aggressive to handle it for now is something they want to achieve, or...
Is that innovation on the fly here for DRX? Is this kind of...
Yeah.
The adjustment we're going... Again, here we've seen them sit much deeper in more traditional setup here on the attack. Spike not committed either, but Laz is in position to catch the cross, and there's 3 players to the right side of mid here. See Marco.
Nothing's drawn him away either.
No, there's no pressure towards him.
Exactly. I was waiting to see if there's any like capability to pull him out of this position, or if there's something that would make them, you know, want to maybe support that B side, or this could be it potentially. Ooh.
Trap destroyed. The problem being he sat comfortably inside his TP range as well, so...
How long does he wait? Does the discipline show? Laz can be so influential to this RB. That's a spike. And that's the death! Laz notes it as well. That'll be a cool made.
Wait, Marco just yoinked the spike
there?
What?
Quick?
You catch it midair. Like, what?
You are a lucky boy. But Spike is collected. It's in hand. Now, Crow's still here. Sugar Zero's still here. Suppressed, though. Okay. Gonna try and tame down the utility that can deny. So, already gonna take the space towards the site, creep a little closer, and try and get this plant. Anyone gonna put their life for it to try and deny it? They gave it an attempt, and Crow fell for it.
Adjustment's great as well for DRX. Again, Stax' ultimate key in that regard in terms of denying the spike plant. But actually, this rifle was so awkward because you can't actually swing that default plant. It makes it so difficult to punish.
Stax again. Just about going to get the wall up. Tap the spike. Look a little further. And where's the kill's going to come from? Depth. So far, the one to find Buzz. This is just being held on by fine margins. Zest gives them a parting gift. But Depth on the trade. And Marco can't do anything about this. Has to sit and watch as the spike is defused. Zeta. They found the cure to what DRX have been peddling. This is unreal work.
Again, Marco's so disconnected. I'm not sure if he has a lineup or if it's missed or something. We've seen a number of different adjustments here, but that default plant does not look good for DRX whatsoever. And I got to say, at depth, one of the ones we've had questions about in terms of actually stepping onto the jet, he's looked fantastic in some of these retakes for Zeta.
Really nice. And even just like the utility work in the post plants, the pressure that DRX are feeling, nothing feels safe in a post plant anymore. This is so good from Zeta. At 6-4, still a close game. The scoreline, not quite as telling as some of these rounds have been polarizing, but again, they've broken the back of the money for DRX here, who are going to have to sit back down, and this is a round to maybe try and probe a little bit, try and figure something out.
I actually just noticed, Sugar Zero's throwing a poison orb that lands here in B main from somewhere back in spawn. I didn't note it there at the start of the round, but again, just to reinforce this triple setup towards B main.
Oh, that's quite nice.
But again, they're going to sit deep here. They're going to allow DRX safe passage to site. Probably try and deny once again. Going to be on Buzz with the Blade Storm here. Viper's Pit available, Res available. Again, is this the one that DRX want to invest into? That's key though. The suppress here to deny any of this utility.
Yeah, and you couldn't imagine 2 better players to get that on. Now Sugar Zero still...
What?
Unreal! And now he can, but look, you can see the attempt of the combo, but it couldn't quite find it in time. But they did at least catch a body in the mean. So, we've got 4 still standing, but they had to try and clear. Now, they only have pistols, so what are you going to do? Lovely underhand flash! And this is the only element that can make the difference. He can indeed tank it. He's already got it towards that halfway point. I'm pretty sure, yeah, there it is. So Depth's going to close it. Going to close it.
Yeah.
And it's flawless. Again, that was only with pistols. DRX still trying to make something work off the back of having the ult in play. But still, 7-4. And look at the ults on the other side they've got to toy with now.
Absolutely. It's perfect. The DRX play this to perfection, right? They find the suppress. That headshot's outrageous from Sugar Zero. Adept again in the retake here. Cut this bit from the VOD, but looking so good.
Do like a little music synth to it or something. Like get creative with it.
Little blur at the end
I like that. Yeah.
But like I said, Stax finds the 2 suppresses that means a site. It's free. They can get the plant comfortably. Again, weapon. This is where it comes from. Thank you very much, observers. Different one. Okay. They baited me. I can hear Baller laughing because I think he thought it was the same one as well.
He's got such a distinct laugh as well. It really cuts through, you know?
Well, we were in the right place at the right time to catch it, if it was that one.
Yeah. I thought you meant the laugh.
I can hear Baller's laugh from a mile away.
For now, we do have to... I mean, this is such a... I feel like I've slipped in some... you know, twisted reality. Yeah,
what?
Like, and the first 2 rounds for DRX with a pistol. Like, we look at these games, we talk about underdogs, and there's always that point where you're like, right, it's that game. It's, you know, we're the ones. We're the Grim Reapers to take the, you know, the team that everyone loves to see kind of, you know, to the grave at that point. But that's not been the case. Zeta have done everything we wanted to potentially see. You know, that wish list, that bucket list. They've got the first pick, and it's untradeable.
We do have the Red Sea. RB going to come through, but they have to defend this. The Hunter's Fury, though!
Oh, it was all a trap. It was all a ruse. They were waiting and almost got the follow-up. The tag on Buzz is good, but not quite enough to do it all. And the adjustment on the fly. This
has got to be that mid hit. It's got to be that mid hit.
Yeah, but there's players already here. 10's in position, Crow. Yeah, hey guys, they're going kitchen. Can you believe it? 10's already. Spike now down, and Sugar Zero not feeling the pressure. He can just deliver damage as Laz waiting. This has been systematic from Zeta. It's a 3v2, sure, but Laz is still the turret on the side, and he's not relinquishing control. Crow! Yeah, okay, fair enough, Zeta. You've done enough to get me aboard. I'm on the train. I'm a believer. It's 8-4 on the half. Mike, is this happening?
I am at a loss for words because I thought this was probably the most uncomfortable start in terms of the veto. But wow, what a step up here from Zeta and what a statement to be made in the first half.
Zeta continue dreaming. Desk, how you feeling with that, huh?
It takes a lot to make Pansy a believer, so I think that goes to show how insane Zeta are playing right now. But I want to let you two know, even when DRX lost maps, they have never been behind at the halftime, ever in this tournament. This is the first time.
Yeah, and what a map to make it happen, actually, for Zeta Division. It feels like they're so prepped. I mean, that last round, 10 having that mid wall, that's something that they came into this, they're like, hold on, if they go back for this, it's going to be so easiest for us to stop.
I love how I pulled out the IGL from the side of DRX. I apologize for doing that. I should have been pointing out Crow instead. The man went nuclear. How many shock darts did we see not only connect, but manage to get kills as well? He is an absolute monster in the server here today, and I can only imagine what the calling is like as well alongside it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the prep, but this was the game plan last time, was to try to get that spike down and use Mako to continue, and DRX is still going for that. Meanwhile, Zeta are like, hold on, let's just stop the spike entirely because of some snakebite Molly combinations, and for the game to be centered around this, I mean, the first round that DRX won after the pistol and anti-eco was because they had a KO ult to deny these from going down. They're just so gorgeous.
They did that back to back too.
This is the biggest thing as well. We've heard, you know, Pansy, Hypoc bring it up. We brought it up on the desk. One of the biggest win conditions on attack is that post plan, that hold, that ability to be able to lock out the defenders from getting that diffuse down. Well, guess what? If you just stop them from planting altogether, there's no win condition anymore, is there?
Yeah, but it's more than that too. They're literally timing pushing based off of when DRX is normally going to be towards that A side. You saw multiple times we had Laz, Crow, and Depp as well being up on that A side, pushed up, having a great setup, and then they just walk up, hold on, this site's not actually being hit because we've studied so well.
Well, Zeta, they have already taken more rounds here in just one half than they did the entire series the last time they faced DRX. Let's see Pansy and Hypoc if they can close this out.
It's the biggest question, is it? Because it's all good to get to this point, a strong half, and it's ticked all the boxes that we've been waiting to see if it's even possible to do, but there's still the finish line. It's still DRX, I have to remind you. One of the teams who look some of the strongest in this. And here we are at 8-4.
See how Zeta approach this. It's Laz to probe towards A site initially here in the pistol round. Zeta actually in position to greet some aggression in mid here. Knife going to reveal nothing. Doesn't tell DRX anything about this setup here from Zeta. It's only Buzz posted up with eyes on B main. He's on top of yellow right now. Drone should be able to clear him and should catch sight of him. Buzz got to give this up now, but Stack's quick in the rotation. Be in a position, and he's actually bought the flash here, so going to try and support Buzz to find something in the flash is perfect onto the orb, but not rewarded with a kill.
Yeah, such nice intent to approach. 45 seconds, and it still looks like this A piece will be at least considered. Are they actually going to scrap that?
Yeah.
They don't have much time
I was going to say, another 10 seconds. I'm getting worried if they're walking away from A site there, but...
You'd be walking in blind at that point. You'd have so little information and time to be able to clear, so that I feel like it has to be a commitment, but...
Well, it's only RB here. He can't really prevent this spike from going down. They've given up A site.
So Zeta, careful on the way through, wall goes. Sugar Zero going to push up a little deeper. Get a little bit of a closer spot. Spike down, and we look at the post-bomb. 5v5. We get to see the best of the both sides.
RB just ate that shock dart, by the way. Crow again.
He's on one, and Crow's been one of the quieter members, let's put it that way. Not necessarily anything bad, but just, you know, compared to the others, your Sugar Zero, your 10, your Laz, he's been, you know, the second string, but right now, the first with the bow. There's Laz from up above, still going to be watching for this. Buzz does find 10, and the rebuild begins, but now they've got the wrap factor. They could have gone around the back on that one, but Laz is the one to connect towards Marco. And now Buzz finds it back. That's the Buzz you need to be seeing. Joined by Stax. And they have the time, even though it will be a little close.
Beautiful stuff there. Again, that's after, like I said, it's only RB here. He can't really challenge, which is why he's in place so deep behind screens. Now this attempt with the utility to deny this plant going down, but DRX good for the retake here. A couple of key kills from Buzz as well, who, again, was kind of eliminated from the first half, not through any poor performance, but just not really having a say in most of these rounds.
No, and it's become quite the trend almost that teams have gone so much better at isolating, you know, others who they want to, you know, really deny that pop-off, right?
Playing anti-plant, it doesn't give Buzz any opportunities to find a kill or do damage. Talked about that first execution onto A side where the flash comes behind Jen. The plan there is for him to get back and defend that wall.
Let's see if this starts well. Buzz propped up in the right position for it. Could be a nice little confidence booster, if not an ult builder. Not quite what you want. He's got plenty other positions to fall around and play towards.
Well, no dash, and he's coming back to yellow, though. So, again, Stack's probably going to try and play him in here with a flash. You can see it. Beautiful.
Oh, that's so nicely done. Yeah. Nice work. Buzz going to punish Laz on that one. He's not necessarily falling off this either. Happy to take a challenge in a fight, which the Frenzy should favor, but doesn't get. Hello, 10 turns around and wins it, does he? Seems unreasonable. Fair enough. Crow and Depp. It should be all right now. I mean, you're down to 2. Are they actually going to get a plant? I mean, a little bit bad enough. DRX quick to deny it, and they now get the second. So 4 stand. They lost out on Buzz, but I mean, he was standing there. He was willing to lose life.
Huge opportunity to regain here in the second half. See whether they can pull off it. Actually, Buzz one away from the ult orb here. Whether or not he's going to make a play for. Looking here, actually, he's over towards Kitchen. Don't think there's going to be any attempt to get the Blade Storm online off the rip. Again, probably scared of the snake bite and the shock dart from Average Kronas, because that's an easy way to deny that free kill.
How dare you do that?
What?
So nonchalantly.
Average Kronas. Everyone knows Average Kronas.
Why have you made his new sub sound? Because he paid for that.
No, of course not. It's a freebie.
What a kind man. Oh dear.
Zeta, they set up pretty deep once again. Again, they want to be cautious of playing these close contacts here with the Spectres, but DRX actually giving up a lot of space once again. See what Zeta do with this in the early round.
I do want to see what their checklist looks like. Because it felt like they were so prepared for, you know, the first half. I do want to see if that somewhat translates through here. Now, of course, we're into the weaponry rounds. This is still a bonus to an extent, so still with a pinch of salt, but we did see in the first half that DRX, you know, garnered the first 2 and then carried on forward.
And talking about protocol, actually on the back of the Owl drone, Buzz backs right away, sees no follow-up, but Stax actually comes across here to be sighted.
RB, dangerous game, man. I'm a little worried about that, but he's still actually found Laz. Look at the HP on Depp as well. This is not looking good. RB is running them absolutely ragged here. And they're still doing damage. DRX dig their heels in. This is not over. This is not the game that you think it's going to be. DRX, a quick reminder of who these boys are. Well, the tournament favorites here. And 1/2 does not make the victor. 0 sharp on reply, but again, the spike's so deep in enemy hands, it doesn't really matter. 10 seconds left.
There's any opportunity to recover this now, but big win here for DRX to flip this round. A couple of upgrades as well.
Oh.
I mean, Buzz happy to die at this point because he gets the Blade Storm regardless. He's got a Spectre in hand. It's an upgrade, if anything, for him right out this next purchase. I mean, actually an opportunity to get the Operator online, but he actually goes for the full shield. Knowing that the purchase might suffer a little bit for Zeta here. Again, you're just mentioning the protocols there. That Owl drone comes through, it pulls Stacks across to make that same play once again. The information's there early enough to set up that flash. But the response is actually the Owl drone and the knife go through to mid just to confirm that there's no split coming behind B. Buzz sees nobody underneath the Owl drone, backs away, and happy to give up that space. The surprising thing actually is still that RB holds on to that with the Spectre. Still finds the first kill when that pressure comes through onto A side.
I actually don't know how he got it. I thought Lads would have actually had the drop on him then. The way it was kind of like unfolding, but wasn't to be. Timeout comes in. Pretty sure this is Zeta's. Yeah. And again, I think it's easy to get enamored by this romantic idea of the underdogs, right? And kind of fall into that concept of it and enjoy what we're watching. It kind of ensnares the senses, but it is a very quick reality check when it comes to DRX because they are so capable and so solid in the way they approach their games. I think we saw it as such a key factor when they were playing against Optic. It was probably one of the clearest ones in my mind of how robust they are as a side. You don't really get to find too many cracks in what they're doing, right? So it's like for Zeta, I do want to see if they can keep pushing as much as they have been. They currently sit in the lead. It's 8-7 in their favor, but DRX are grinding this back in now. So I want to see how it looks now that they have the economy on their side, at least a little here, with a bit more in the pocket too. I
mean, we need to see a response here in terms of a round victory for Zeta in the second half. Ultimate progress lacking as well. DRX not necessarily miles ahead in that regard other than Buzz, but again, look at the cushion now in terms of the finances. 3 sitting above 5k there or thereabouts, and a little bit quicker this time from Zeta. So Zest will be called upon in mid. Hold on to that boiler position, but again, actually, Zeta will peel away from that.
I wonder what they've identified from this or what they want to try and do. See how quickly DRX are responding. Insta 3 stack towards middle.
Look at it, just immediately Stacks comes across here.
Yep.
It's actually a great setup on B because it gives time for this rotation. It almost gives an opportunity to find this free kill on the back of the flash as well.
You can see it, so poised and ready. There it is. Pop flash in. It's perfect again. It did seem as though one of them was anti-flash potentially. Yeah, it looked like 10 was either anti-flash or just sat close behind the box, so he just didn't eat it. And we did already see that earlier on, so if they found that as like something they could maybe explore, quite impressive to Zeta, but we have been constantly impressed by them. Stack's ready for round 2. Can he buy another bit of time here? Yes, he can. That one catches. And again, so much potential danger. You're right, but it just doesn't quite find any bigger purchase. Yes, depth's a little lower, but it's not the end of the world. But Buzz is unrelenting. He's still standing in the double face. The spacing was a bit dangerous there, but Laz still succeeds. So Yellow now garnered. They've got at least a little bit of a step towards the side. Couldn't quite get the punish on the fallback. He goes back for seconds and he gets it. 14 seconds though. They need to think about the spike and getting that down. We're going to be sub 10 by the time they get towards the site. And Stax is just delivering in droves. 2v2 and the HP is low for Laz. And now the time is of the element, and it's a problem. RB waited, he waited so patiently. Gave nothing away, and Sugar Zero gets nothing given. And we're back all even 8-8.
Important there that actually DRX still recover that after, again, getting no value off that setup. And Buzz, a little bit of a fumble there on the second, at least. They waited long enough for the second. It completely catches Zeta off guard, but not able to even really do too much notable damage, I think, initially. Tagged up, it might have been Crow, I think, but with the heal coming through from 10, it almost accounts for nothing. And we're all tied up, 8 apiece. Lad's actually going to bring the tour de force into this round.
You want to play? Let's play.
Buzz actually now with the operator, and that's key because he's been looking for very, very close or early contact on B main here, posted up in a number of different positions. So. We've got to rely on the diligence here from Zeta in terms of these fact finders. Again, it's nothing particularly out of the ordinary here, but DRX, it's just a carbon copy once again. They're playing so deep on this, Lauren. What was it? Almost forcing Zeta to sweat, right? There's so much time and so much space given up for free. Eldrone actually just trying to avoid, but in the reposition from Buzz will be noted yet. That's exactly what I'm looking for here, and he has to back away. And I think Zeta know that Stax is playing deep for that flash.
So they are working out the puzzle, but they still need to get that next part of this. Press comes in and caught in no man's land 10. Good trade though for Depp. Big trade. Very quick to it as well.
But it's 10 with the wall.
That's a huge loss,
absolutely
right?
Cripples this B-side execute.
Yeah, they have to work with so little now. And Stax, his presence alone is a problem. RB now hitting that rotation as well. You can have so many of these players close by here. Marco isn't far. Yeah, you can see Marco's not far. And now they go, try to get towards the side, try and get maybe the spike down, do something. Actually, they want to aggress a little, maybe try and remove some of that presence, and they do well enough for a trade. A 2-for-1 gets them mid-control, but they have to still look towards CT, and there's still players there, RB and Zest being the two. And it's all on Laz in a 1v2. He's going to get the shots on one.
Zest is stuck in the slow as well.
Zest, it's all about timing. Laz can readjust. He's falling away from this. He's buying precious seconds with every single step. And Zest has to clear. He was supreme for his side before, and he has to find a little bit more of it. But Laz has lost a little bit of the timing here, because look at Zest. He's closing the gap, but Laz, the awareness. Oh, and now the nerves start to build, and he makes it across. Zest wants it to halfway. Shoulder peek in. 34 HP. Oh my god, Zest, no shot! Laz will be devastated off the back of that. The nerves starting to peak all together. And Zest kept his cool.
He had him dead to rights. He had him dead to rights. I can't believe Zest has closed that one out. DRX actually going to put one round ahead now. Again, great defense here as Zeta try and mix things up. Like I said, losing 10 on the way in there makes this B site hit so much more difficult. There's no safety net, Lauren.
No, you're right, and I do like the fact though that with that, then they push deeper into its B site.
The
they
brilliant.
had to double swing it. Yeah. I really like the fact that they identified it and then had to execute that plan on the fly. But still, we have to once again come back in the room. You know, we've been dreaming this idea of this, you know, as I said, fairy tale run. But DRX are correcting everything. They are putting everything back on course. It's 9-8. Zeta probably going to start feeling a little bit of that pressure now. They did everything they had to in that first half. They're getting close. They've just been torn away from the fingertips, unable to hold on. As the ult gets popped here as well. And it might be just to push up someone like Marco as well. Tag comes in, and look at Marco's positioning here as well. He's so close to that swing. Ooh, gets checked back in by Depp.
Laz, meanwhile, trying to make some progress towards A site. RB on the other side of this. Does have Depp here as well now. RB going to be drifted away from this wall as it starts to crack. Actually going to find a freebie on the ropes as well. Try and slow things down here. Zeta desperate to trade this still.
Sadly, desperation not that flattering. RB with the spray looking real nice though. Just stronghold now for DRX. That vice-like grip on the game. I mean, those fantasies are now out the window, I feel like.
Exactly, it's a reminder. It's a wake-up call that this is DRX.
Yes.
The recovery has been fantastic in the second round. 6 rounds unanswered now. Zeta come back into this with the purchase, but there's not an awful lot left to give. Actually going to be a timeout called here. Rightfully so. I think they're struggling for answers now, Lauren.
They've been winning in small ways.
DRX are giving up so much of the map. Yeah. And they can't convert it.
No, and that's the thing. I'd say that they've had a couple of small wins for Zeta.
Perfect then way to put it.
It just doesn't translate into the conversion of the round. And I'd say some of it's a little bit of nerves. Some of it's a little bit of, just late round mistakes. Bits and pieces that just, as said, just fall away in the end of it. But for now, it's costing them problems. And this is where that experience comes in, where that discipline comes in, where the capability to play like a favorite comes in. And I've got to say, at DRX, they are really just locking this game down, and it's hard, right? You've just had someone have that almost unquantifiable momentum run through you a little in that first half, because you can't sit there and go, oh, well, we expected after game 1. No, not at all.
And Zeta really, I mean, it's difficult with how DRX are playing this. It's really difficult for Zeta to be the ones to kind of embed some kind of pace shift, right?
Yes.
They can't really change the pace of this game right now, because DRX are literally just awaiting. They're ready to just, I'll be honest, just absorb a hit on either side.
Yeah.
And like I said, the adjustment just hasn't been there for Zeta for me.
No. So we'll see what they've got any capability to cook up. It looks like an all-in piece towards A unless anything changes soon. Sugar Zero's ult and obviously tends to play with. On the other side, Buzz, more than capable. RB, similar teams.
This is a little different though. Much quicker this time around from Zeta.
Above a minute. Already starting to build in. Laz following around, and actually Laz is the one to find RB, and we saw that RB had really had his number for a couple of these goes, and effective trades for Zeta. The site should be theirs. The Res going to confirm that fact as well, as with RB at a loss, he can't do the same thing back. Utility though, oh no, tried to tank it, and just got denied at the end. And while that happened, Depp also got another frag, so this is still looking okay. It's still okay, it's Zest, hold on. I'll take a step back and a breath, because this man is still standing and breathing, so there's always an opportunity and a chance. Can he do any more Buzz by his side?
I mean, I'm hoping that lineup was off a little bit, but there's a chance here to actually defuse out of line of sight. He can hug the corner here. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he can. Yes, he absolutely can. Who can deny it? Who can stop this? He's pulled off from it. Zest! He's holding it back! He didn't get towards halfway, but Buzz, he's gone back onto it! He's not stopping! They're trying to spray it! They get him eventually! Oh, real close. Zeta not going to let the gap go too far. We're at 9-10, and this is a tense game now. But the money was okay. I'm still seeing like 7K on stacks. You know, they shouldn't be too much of a problem. They've been doing very well this half.
6 rounds. They've got a 6-round cushion here, like, and the base storm available. Operator coming back into this round.
Yep.
Again, just that, almost a slight mistake, I've got to say it. Allowing a plant to come through here without line of sight from Belt. Again, I think it's on the back of that fragment coming through. There's adjustment. They have to scramble to get the second plant down, but great work from Zeta to deny that.
We see it again, don't we? The start framed for Buzz to find that first pick. The flash can come in if he feels too much pressure, but there's an adjustment. It's a little bit of a look towards middle as well. Keep in mind, Laz is exploring this. So maybe an addressment towards stacks. Maybe they want to try and displace his positioning. See if they apply pressure towards long now and see if they can get a punish towards him, because Laz has threaded the needle. So he can just wait for this. I'm kind of curious what they do with this, because this could be just tailor-made to try and keep stacks away from this.
So it's usually the knife or the drone to spot this, and Laz has got through. He's going to find the first kill here. Buzz is going to fall.
Yeah, and now how quickly can he adjust? Yeah, okay, now he spots stacks, so he knows that's the next layer to this. The wall goes up, so now they can get that spike across. Spike now going to go down. The ult comes in to add to play, and he actually wants to push towards CT, and that's very bold from Laz. I like that he's still trying to keep space here for the side, but he's a little alone, so no one can really trade him either.
Ready to give his life up here. Actually finds the first. Stacks will fall, but Zest good for the trade.
Yeah, taking one with him is imperative. Still going to give favorable numbers here. Keep them on the side. Brings out the res, though, so Stacks back on the feet.
Hunter's Fury available as well, so many tools for Zeta to convert this round of DRX.
They're saving.
They're straight out of this.
Okay,
they don't even want to entertain it.
So I feel as though just what we've seen there alone is going to be a real, not necessarily a huge problem, but that stacks combination with Buzz, that little flash, now has to be really kept in mind as to when they do it and how that got read by Laz.
Well, not necessarily stacks and Buzz, but actually comes down to stacks and Zest. Like I said, the utility completely misses Laz coming through. The knife gets destroyed, the drone spots nothing. There's no contingency there, because they're so stuck in their ways in terms of these protocols. As soon as contact comes through, stacks goes towards B. Drone and the knife confirm nothing, means that Laz is able to get to that position and punish Buzz.
I can't blame them to be caught off by it once.
Well,
but
where's
if it
the adjustment now? Exactly, where's the adjustment?
You have to have like intention behind the, even further behind the utility now.
It's literally been 1-2-2 the entire half of DRX, and this is the first time now that it's going to force an adjustment. And we can see it straight away already. Look, Stacks now down on B main with Buzz.
So now do they exploit it further? If they're going to have to make some of these players kind of force themselves either to the extremities or more dedicated towards sites, do they then try and flip the switch a little, kind of maybe pull a rotation here and catch a punish on it? I'll be interested to see what the plan is now that Zeta have maybe forced DRX to make a bit of a move and have to respect that in kind. It looks like a deep hold towards A, which could allow for this site take to come in quite cleanly and just full retake, I guess.
Marco does have the Viper's Pit, but he is the only member of DRX here. Actually, we'll find a headshot here on Depp. And should be able to find the heal onto him. And back into a position where he can entry here. Marco actually going to come across. He's going to pop the Viper's Pit early. Look how much it covers, Lauren.
Huh. But they're not... I'm watching the spike. They ain't going towards that.
I mean, they baited it out. It's whether or not they now commit to this rotation.
But they've done that relatively quickly too. I'm kind of impressed they've pulled this off at like, what, 45 seconds. They've still got room to play with. Can they catch any of these rotations towards middle? That's a bit of an issue. RB is going to slow this down, cause problem to the plan. Look at RB's position as well. He could catch so much off the back of this. He knows it as well. He's going to dip further forward. All the steps, all this information, they've heard so much of this. This has to be called through now. Everything's been read here, but they have to go. They have to make a go of this. Look at the time, 25 seconds. We're going to try and deny Zest, but he's going to spot the cross. RB strike Stacks as well. It's a crunch. It's been a trap in the making the whole time. Buzz unfazed. and stacks to close. DRX read it to a T.
Perfectly played. The prime gaming flaws here for DRX, and no better word for it. Again, Zeta left scrambling. Like I said, whether or not they were going to commit to this rotation, but it gave DRX time. And they make it work for them. Beautifully done. And these are the sorts of rounds that you talk about when you're questioning the depth of a team. It's that adaptation. It's how they can adjust. And right now, DRX winning out in that regard.
Yeah, they are. Again, it's when that pedigree comes in, that longevity to how they've played like this, to this standard, to this level. DRX do have so much depth to them. You've got to respect Zeta for pushing them there. It's not over yet. It's 10-11. And Laz again is given room to work here, and I don't think Zest is going to catch much of this. 10, can't get there in time to deny. And Buzz actually going to lean back in. Buzz considering it, and then slips away. But they have managed to get Laz up here, but there has to be that potential consideration in mind that someone has slipped the next. They did note that one player, but they didn't expect Laz to be tucked in towards kitchen. Man. He's found room. He's exploiting DRX right now, and it could once again be that B pinch that comes in, because they've got to know that Buzz and Stacks will still be around here somewhere.
No pressure coming through onto the plant though as the wall goes up.
They have to clear him. He's going to buy them so much time.
Again, we're in a scenario here. Hunter's Fury available, and look at where Sugar Zero's playing. Still got a trap up in mid. So much control here from Zeta.
And Laz just slips away. Perfect timing on it as well. He can re-aggress this. They're going to be paranoid. He's going to hear these steps. He can call out the positions, and 10's unmoving. He's holding. He's just waiting. Bated breath. Time to strike. Depp got buzzed down. He wants a bit more. Plays in between the wall. Finds RB, and they know that Stacks is still lingering around here, and those flashes pop. Marco gets punished by Laz and Zeta. Be it by just Laz alone. They find the adjustment. They find the flawless. Right back to DRX. 11-11.
What will it be this time? Have any patterns emerged?
I mean, what could DRX do now? I mean, we're talking about how deep they're having to play. I think that's on the back of, we've seen a couple of examples now of, if you lack a traditional Sentinel, how many different parts of the map you have to physically cover. You need to put a man in place. And Laz is punishing them for it. Again, this kind of slow work in the early round now actually looking a little more comfortable for Zeta. It still doesn't feel as if they're going to find this success time and time again.
No, but they found a theory.
Yes.
There's a theory in work here. Now, it isn't going to be that exact replication every single time, but it is possible. And Laz, there's a reason he looks like the main character, because right now he is. He's the protagonist of this story. And he wants to do it for Zeta. He's desperately trying to be the instigator to so much of the room that they're garnering. But again, a pause for thought here. Now, we know that this time around, of course, Marco will not have that ultimate to put into play towards that A site, but he does have support here. And now they're going to note that Zest will be on this side of the map. They're going to know that he's hanging around this area. Okay, only notes one.
Still haven't burnt up that Hunter's Fury again. That's the other thing I'm looking at here. Is there discipline with not over-investing in some of these rounds? It is actually something to really admire.
Did Laz get noted by that knife? I'm not 100% sure. It seemed as though he would have. So again, if they found him, that could have changed things here. But now we have to look towards the site and what's happening. So Spike's going to go down as the wall goes up. The post plant should be safe. And again, with that later play lingering around, there's no damage to this coming in.
2 snake bites, 2 shock darts, a Hunter's Fury, lots of Zeta. Utility still available here, and the Hunter's Fury thrown out quick, actually. I'm okay with this, even if he just finds a tag and it will just be one.
That's fine. There's still numbers, there's still bodies. Depth forced back, and you can see the re-aggress. The dip back in. Zest finds 10. The fight's still in DRX, and as is in Dep. But look at the lurk, and look at who it is. It's Laz, but the other two still need to keep them entertained. Crow and Sugar Zero have to sell them a story, sell them a tale! And Zeta! Where has this performance come from? 12-11. The dream's alive and well, and once again, Laz on that backline play. This guy is an absolute demon right now.
He is causing so many problems.
Early round, mid-round, late round. How can you get past this guy?
And now they're making them, they're punishing them for exactly how DRX want Zeta to play. They're giving them all this space, and Zeta are now converting this. I mean, this paints a picture. I mean, statistically, this is one of DRX's worst maps in terms of retake percentage, and now Zeta leaning on that so well. They're finding these plants comfortably. And like I said, with minimal utility, hello, Buzz straight over the top here.
Oh no, but look what's happened! It wasn't just one. It wasn't 10 just finding Buzz. It was the catch on RB as well. This has destroyed DRX.
The first time as well. And they're so ready for it. Zest, Marco, and Stax now. Last 3 standing. See if Zeta... That's it. I mean, no initial response here. They're happy to just wait once again. Marco got a decent position here. Down in Tube. But all 5 members of Zeta now, they're going to dig their heels in.
Because the temptation, the want is to explore and try and get a frag back, right? This is the perfect
Marco's
reply.
doing it.
It's such a simplistic, traditional thing that you see in these games. You're at a disadvantage. You've got to try and find that moment somewhere. That option to get back in. And Zeta, step by step, walking back in.
He's gone the wrong way here.
Yes, they have.
A site's wide open, Lauren.
Now, they're going to get a plant, and they're going to get so much time on this as well. This is going to... By the time they get back over here, you're going to need something of a miracle for DRX to pull this round back off. And they can be the miracle makers, so don't think it's impossible. But it is improbable. As Marco is the one to start working towards those backlines. Sugar Zero, first fight, finds it. No, he doesn't!
What?
Denial! And now Stax and Zest, the 2 heroes of their time, have now been undone. One more, and Dev's done it! It's 13-11! Zeta, they win map 1.